Hello guys, Karen Miller here. Today I'm going to make an apple galette. I have 2.5 cups flour here and I'm putting in some butter. I have 2 cups of white spelt and a half a cup of brown spelt. This is my vegan butter. The recipe is in my cookbook. So I'm going to break the butter up with my fingers. And remember, when you're making pastry, very cold butter. If you have to, put this back into the freezer. Very cold butter, very cold water. So I'm going to break this up. It's almost done. And you can see the chunks of butter here. And I'm going to squeeze this a little bit more. This is all. And then I'm going to put some ice cold water. So pastry is just very simple. Flour, butter, a little bit of salt, and very cold water. So I'm going to add my water. I'm adding my water. It's very cold, so make sure you put your water in the freezer to get cold. And you know that it's very cold because then you see that very thin film of ice start to form on the top of the water. That's how you know it's really cold. So this is coming together. See, it's coming together. You don't need a lot of water. So I'm going to finish doing this and bring this into a ball and stick it in the refrigerator. Alright, let's continue with our galette, the apple galette. I have 4 apples here. I was going to use 5, but 1 is missing. That's fine. I'm going to use 4. You could use 6 for that amount of flour pastry that you have. I have 2 Gala and 2 Granny Smith. The Granny Smith is like the typical for apple pie making and for cooking. So I'm going to peel this apple and then I'm going to remove the core. I'm going to show you what I do. Do 1. And try to put your apples in a bowl of water so that it doesn't oxidize too much and get brown. If you have an apple core, I guess that's what you say. You know, that thing that you stick in the middle and you pull it out and the core comes out, but I don't think that's necessary. I do this with my knife. So I cut this in half and then I turn it down and I cut on the diagonal like this, and then I cut out the core like this, and that's it. And then you can just slice this some more like this, or you can leave it whole like this for your apple pie or this galette. A galette is like an open face sandwich. We're using a single crust instead of a double crust, so it's easier and you don't need a pan for this. If you don't have a pan, no worries. You know, you're gonna see how this goes. So I'm gonna do this piece here. On the diagonal like this, I turn it around and I do this. And maybe you could remove a little piece from here if you think it's, and then I do this. And you slice this like that. So I'm going to do the other 3 apples and then get back to you. I'm going to put this in some water and get back to you. So I have my dough here, my pastry dough. I'm going to cut this in half because I only need single crust for this open face galette. I'm going to stick this back in my refrigerator for something else. I have my floured board here, and I am going to now roll this out. I'm going to roll this out. You can see the butter pieces here. And remember, cold, cold, cold when you're doing pastry. If you're doing this in the summer, sometimes you just have to keep always just putting it back into the refrigerator or the freezer. So I'm going to keep rolling this like that, and then you see I picked it up. It didn't fall apart. And I'm gonna keep rolling this and then get back to you. So I'm continuing to roll this out, and you see sometimes it breaks like this. You just kind of overlap it and you squeeze it. This is the thing about pastry. You can do this. You can patch it like that. Okay? So I think this is a good size. I'm going to put this in my pan. I have my pan in my freezer right now because I want to put this on a cold pan. And I think I'm going to put it back into the freezer before I continue working with it again. Alright? So I have my apples here. They were soaking in water to prevent them from getting too brown. I'm going to just add some basic ingredients. For apple pie or this galette, you know, some cinnamon, right? About 2 to 3 teaspoons. I'm going to add a pinch of salt. And I'm going to add a tablespoon of date sugar, and I'm going to mix this in. And I'm going to add my flour, so it's going to thicken it up a little bit and not make a watery mess. So I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of flour. Not heaping, you know, 2 tablespoons. And last but not least, I want to add a little extra sugar. Because we have the Granny Smith, which it's a very sour apple. But it holds together nicely. This is why it's a popular apple for doing apple pies. So what I do is I sprinkle some agave syrup over this like that. Yeah, this is gonna be good. Good. And I'm gonna go get my single crust and put it over it and then fold it up. Show you how I do that. So I removed my pastry from the freezer, and it's really cold, and you can see like it's a marbly kind of thing here with the butter. So I'm going to put my apples here. Okay, this is good. I thought maybe the apples were not going to be enough, but I have more than enough apples here. And what you do is you gonna spread this out a little bit. And you know, this is very rustic, so you bring this up like that. I'm gonna wait for this to get a little softer, and then I'm going to fold it up. All right, so my pastry is a little bit more pliable now, so I'm just gonna fold this in. This is all you do, you fold it in. It's very rustic, but it's quick and it's simple and it's easy. And you fold it in like this. It looks like this. And you have your galette. That's it. Like that. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to baste this with some of the apple sauce from the mixture from the apples. And I'm going to baste it with, you could do it with some aquafaba, with some oil and aquafaba and the apple juice. You stick it in the oven, 425 for 15 minutes, very high heat, and then you lower the temperature to 350 for another 25 minutes. All right, so I'll get back to you. All right, guys, I removed my galette, my apple galette from the oven, and I'm going to baste it with some agave syrup and melted butter to just give it a little bit of shining it up. So this is it. You know, I've been cooking 2 days before Thanksgiving, and this is just easier to do. But you have the recipe in the cookbook. And those of you who have bought my cookbook, thank you very much for your support. So this is it, guys. This is your apple galette. It's pretty, tasty. Do it. It's easy. You don't need a dish. If you don't have a dish, it's just easy and rustic. All right, take care.